Can faith survive when every explanation disappears? Job lived in the land of Uz. Scripture describes him as blameless and upright, a man who feared God and turned away from evil. His household was large, his flocks spread across the land. His children gathered for meals, and Job regularly prayed for them. He was respected, prosperous, and careful about the way he lived. Then, in a short and terrible sequence, his secure world collapsed. Messengers arrived one after another. Livestock were stolen or destroyed. Servants were killed. Then a violent wind struck the house where Job's sons and daughters were gathered, and none of his children survived. The story does not ask us to watch their deaths. It asks us to stand beside a grieving father when the life he knew is suddenly gone. Job tore his robe and bowed to the ground. He mourned honestly. Yet in the first shock of sorrow, he still acknowledged God. Then suffering reached his own body. Painful sores covered him, and Job sat among ashes, scraping himself with broken pottery. His wife, overwhelmed by the ruin around them, asked why he still held on to his integrity. Job refused to curse God, but that did not mean he felt no pain. 3 friends came to comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they barely recognized him. They wept, tore their robes, and sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. At first, their silence was compassionate. Then they began to speak. Again and again, the friends insisted that suffering must have a simple explanation. If Job was in pain, they reasoned, he must have done something to deserve it. Job knew their accusations were false. He defended his integrity. He questioned. He lamented. He wished he had never been born. He asked why God seemed distant when he needed an answer. The book of Job gives suffering people room to speak honestly. Faith is not pretending that loss does not hurt. It is not forcing a smile over grief or accepting shallow answers because silence feels uncomfortable. Job brought his confusion directly to God. At last, the Lord answered from a whirlwind. God did not give Job a tidy explanation for every event. Instead, he opened Job's vision to the vastness of creation. Where was Job when the earth's foundations were laid? Who set the boundaries of the sea? Who commands the morning, sends rain on empty land, guides the stars, and cares for creatures beyond human control? The questions were not meant to mock Job's grief. They revealed how much of reality remained beyond his sight. Job had treated his limited understanding as though it could judge the whole design. Now he recognized the difference between honest suffering and claiming knowledge he did not possess. My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. Job responded with humility. God also corrected the friends because they had not spoken rightly about him as Job had. Their confident accusations were not wisdom. In the end, Job's health and prosperity were restored. He received a new family and lived many more years. But restoration does not make his earlier children replaceable, and it does not turn grief into a simple equation. The deeper ending is that Job encountered God without receiving every explanation he demanded. That matters when life makes no sense. We may not know why a loss happened. We should not accuse suffering people with easy answers. We can sit with them, listen, pray, and help. And when our own words fail, we can bring honest pain to God without abandoning faith. Trust does not require us to understand everything. It asks whether we will keep turning toward God when our understanding reaches its limit. Job lost the world he knew. His questions were real. His grief was real. And still, his story shows that faith can speak from the ashes. After Job, the biblical story returns to Genesis, where God will call Abram to leave his home and begin a journey of promise. That is where the next chapter begins.